right, so I've got Mickey Mouse all sketched out in red pencils on 18 by 24 inch gray paper, which is really gonna make the colors pop when it's time to color this in. So make sure you stick around for that. And if you wanna draw along with me today, right now would be the perfect time to get out your materials and get set up. Or if you just wanna put your feet up on the couch and enjoy the party that way, that's totally cool too. So let's rock and roll. Today we're gonna draw Mickey Mouse in a 3/4 view. So we're gonna start by drawing an egg shape for Mickey's nose. Add a little curving line on the right side with an oval on top for Mickey's left eye and a slightly larger oval for his right eye since it's closer to us in space. We add 2 smaller ovals inside the first ones for his pupils. And now we're gonna draw a big curve for the top edge of Mickey's face. An M-shaped arch around his eyes to define his forehead, and a big C shape for Mickey's right cheek. Now we draw a big smile line from his nose to the middle of his cheek, cap it with a little line for the corner of his mouth, draw a U shape for the bottom edge of his mouth, add one more U shape for Mickey's bottom lip, and then add 2 little curving lines for his tongue. We add a little line curving up from Mickey's cheek and connect that line to the top of Mickey's head by adding 2 big circular shapes for his ears. That's the toughest part of the entire drawing, but the great news is Mickey's face is complete. Now we can draw Mickey's chest, starting with a curving line on the left with a little loop on the end, a straight line on the right for his arm with a C shape on the end for the cuff of his glove, another straight line with a loop on the end for the bottom of his arm, a short line coming down from the loop, and a big curving line for the edge of Mickey's shorts. Now we're going to draw Mickey's left hand, starting with 2 straight lines for his arm, 2 curving lines for the cuff on his glove, 3 curving lines to define his thumb, a line for the bottom edge of his fingers, 3 overlapping lines for the fingers which connect back to the cuff on his glove, and a line for the center of his palm. Now we're going to repeat the mirror image of the exact same shapes to draw Mickey's right hand, so just watch my lines closely. Now we're going to draw a long line for Mickey's back that curves back up at the bottom to define his right leg. We add a semicircle shape for the edge of Mickey's shorts, which connects to his left leg. Two more lines for the edge of his shorts, and add 2 ovals right on the front for the buttons. Now we draw 2 donut-shaped semicircles on the bottom of each leg for the tops of Mickey's shoes, a little line connecting them, a line for the heel of his right shoe. Now we're going to add a long curving line for Mickey's left shoe and add a little fold on top, another long curving line for Mickey's right shoe with another little fold on top. And to complete our Mickey Mouse outline, we're going to draw 2 little curving lines for his tail. All right, so there's our simple outline of Mickey Mouse. But this drawing's still looking a little bit flat, so now I'm gonna go back and darken in some of these lines, add a little bit of line quality and give it some shadows and weight. So make sure you stick around because this is where the magic happens. This is the part of the process where we turn our two-dimensional outline into a real, living, breathing, three-dimensional character. In drawing, the term line quality specifically refers to the thickness or thinness of a line. So by thickening specific lines like the bottom edges of Mickey's shorts, shoes, buttons, and gloves, we give our outline weight and increase the illusion of natural shadows and light, which makes our simple Mickey Mouse outline begin to feel alive. All right, so there's our completed outline of Mickey Mouse with black Sharpies. So if you've been drawing along with me, right now would be the perfect time to smooth out your lines, make sure everything's just how you want it. And if you're that person with your feet up on the couch, make sure you don't go anywhere, because coming up next is the most fun part of the party where we bring Mickey to life with color. You won't want to miss it. All right, so we're gonna start our Mickey Mouse coloring party by coloring Mickey's clothes. And I'm gonna use the same Sharpie creative markers that I used for Minnie Mouse in last week's episode. My new favorite thing in existence. If you don't have them, go out and get them. They turn drawings into paintings and they don't create a mess like other paint pens. No paid sponsorship, just telling you the truth. So let's color. In this phase of our coloring, I'm using a bright red for Mickey's shorts and a bright yellow for his shoes, because I want our end result to have that classic Mickey Mouse look and feel. But feel free to color your drawing with whatever colors make you feel inspired. Okay, so I'm liking how these colors are working out so far on Mickey Mouse. Now I'm gonna color in Mickey's ears, nose, arms, and legs. But instead of using the normal black, I'm actually gonna use a dark blue to keep our overall color palette nice and bright. And I know we haven't gotten into Feng Shui and all the principles of Feng Shui on this channel yet. We will in the future, but for now, let's just say that large voids of black are not Feng Shui to hang on the walls. So let's keep the party going. In this phase of color, you'll see why it was important to add those loops to our lines on Mickey's chest, because when we color in everything except the loops will create a separation between the blue in Mickey's chest and the blue in his arms, which will keep his extremities from blobbing together and keep our initial structure for Mickey's anatomy in place. All right, so I'm actually really loving how these colors are working out on Mickey Mouse so far. Not sure if that blue is dark enough for the result that I have visualized, but I won't really know until we finish coloring the rest of our drawing. So now I'm gonna use a light brown earth tone to color in Mickey's face. So let's go. If you watch closely as we color Mickey's face, you'll notice I'm using the same contour coloring technique I explained in detail in our episode How to Draw Dumbo. The basic idea is to curve the lines of color around the character by imagining we're drawing on a real three-dimensional object. If you want a more detailed description, you can click the link below. But make sure to stick around for the final reveal so you can see all these contour color lines up close. All right, so this next technique is a secret that no one really talks about, but in my artistic career, it's been a total game changer. We're gonna use a white Sharpie to color in the highlights in Mickey's eyes and buttons and gloves, which on this gray background is gonna make Mickey Mouse jump off the page and really bring the character to life. So let's do this. If you're having fun watching Mickey Mouse come to life, I hope that by watching this to the end, these next few moments will leave you feeling the same level of joy that I experienced while creating this. And as you watch how these white Sharpies make Mickey Mouse jump off the page, even if you didn't have gray paper and white markers handy today, I hope seeing this will inspire you to try the technique in the future, because using white markers to create highlights on gray and colored paper is one of the most fun and effective ways to generate professional looking results in your artwork. And if using this method makes you as happy as it makes me, I encourage you to share it with a friend. Hey, you never know. If we can inspire a smile in one new person every day, we might just make the world a happier place. All right, so I'm absolutely loving how all of our colors are just jumping off the page right now. So I'm not sure there's much more to do. So I hope you guys had fun in this episode, How to Draw Mickey Mouse. Stick around for the final reveal so you can see all these lines up close. Make sure to check out all your other favorite characters in our cartoon collection. And as always, stay inspired. If you had fun or learned anything, click the logo to subscribe and click this link to keep the party going.